Hey, what's up, guys? Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. Well, it's happened yet again. I'm going to show you guys where and when another train has derailed off the tracks, and this time it took a dive into a river, of all things. We'll come back and take a look at where that occurred here in just a moment. But first, I wanted to touch base on the weather that we talked about yesterday. I received a video from Steph along the Gulf of Mexico, the storm systems that were headed towards Alabama, the Florida Panhandle. This is what the storms look like looking out over the Gulf of Mexico yesterday afternoon when the storms were brewing, and they brought tornadoes actually into the Florida Panhandle. I'm going to show you guys a map from yesterday, and this is what the map looked like with regard to high winds, and you can even see the tornadoes that went through the Florida Panhandle. There was a ton of energy out here in the Gulf of Mexico that could have produced tornadoes and large hail and high winds, and sure enough, it did in locations. It was quite widespread all the way from the southern part of Alabama over to eastern Georgia. So big storm system yesterday, and the weather has returned once again today, this time in central Texas, and it's just now getting cranked up, and there's been power outages reported in Texas. Right now, almost 15,000 customers without power, and that's right here in these counties you see highlighted in yellow just south of Dallas, and that is consistent with where the storms are the strongest right now. But they're gaining momentum, and this is going to go on for the next 2 or 3 hours in central Texas over into parts of western Louisiana. So just a big heads up, that's all if you guys are in those areas. Coming over here to the homepage of the website, today's feature photos of yet another ominous sky. Photos sent in by Ron Coons out of New Alexandria, Pennsylvania. This is from a few days ago. You can see that cloud right there is nearly touching the ground. Awesome photo. Checking in on the GOES X-ray flux over here at the Space Weather Prediction Center. You can see it's starting to climb here. It's in an upward trend right now as I do this video. No major flares in the last 24 hours, but the energy is definitely increasing, as are the sunspots over here on the Earth-facing side of the sun. And we can confirm these sunspots thanks to a video sent in by Scott out of New Haven, Connecticut this morning as the sun was coming up from his location. And right there they are. There's that row of sunspots that we just saw right here at the Solar Dynamics Observatory. This is from Scott's recording device as he zoomed in on the sunrise this morning using a specialized filter that records the sun. I also noticed a sunspot, and he noticed it too, up here on the top. That might be the bottom of the sun because a lot of times these images are inverted. So this is probably on the bottom, but that is an unusual place for a sunspot collection at the bottom of the sun. They're normally around the equator like you see right there. That row of sunspots that you saw right there, those are right where they should be, right around the equator region of the sun, just above or just below. Awesome video, Scott. Thanks for sharing. And that's where these are at. But he picked up something that was closer to the top or bottom of the sun. You can see a sunspot complex right there, but that doesn't necessarily look out of bounds. But anything up near the top or bottom is definitely out of bounds. Looking at the power outage situation, once again over here at poweroutage.us, nearly 15,000 customers without power, courtesy of the strong storms rolling through Texas. Right now as I do this video, this is the map from yesterday over here at hailreports.com. A lot of tornado activity, high winds, and large hail. Same situation today, starting to brew here in central Texas. In fact, let me refresh the page. This is from about 30 minutes ago. And yes, there's more hail on the map. And these are just the ones that are being reported. There's probably 50 times more than this, but you can see a couple of locations reporting 3-inch hail. That's good size. That's at least tennis ball size hail. You're probably getting into baseball size hail there. And these storms have very tall cloud tops. The darker colors represent height, and the higher up these storms goes, the larger hail they can and will produce sometimes. So we're seeing large hail in central Texas right now as I do this video. I want to take you guys over here to the American Meteor Society. Last night there was a long duration fireball that was reported out here in the southwestern United States. It was visible from Albuquerque, New Mexico, over here in the Phoenix area, as the path took it over southern Colorado, but again visible from New Mexico, Arizona, and of course Colorado. And there was a video that was taken of this long duration fireball that went through the sky. And what this ended up being was space junk from one of the SpaceX rocket launches, and I'll share the details behind what this was here in just a moment. But the video was submitted by Adric Menning over here at the American Meteor Society, and the video was taken from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Big slow moving bright light moving through the sky with a long tail behind it. That looks like a classic slow moving, super slow moving fireball, because typically when we see space debris, it's in multiple multiple pieces. It's a debris field that's traveling through the sky at a high rate of speed. This is moving kind of slow. It's very large. It must have been a large piece of space debris, but that's what it ended up being. And as it got closer to the Denver area, people from Denver submitted photos, and you can see it start to fragment and fall apart. But it stayed together for over a minute long. This video here, you can see a fragment right there that just came off. This video was just over a minute long, once again, out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. And if we come over here to the American Meteor Society, you can see some of the photos that were submitted from the Denver area. And you can see when it got to that area, it did indeed fall apart. And what this was a large piece of space debris from one of the recent SpaceX rocket launches. And there's more details over here at spaceweather.com talking about this large debris field from the space debris that entered the atmosphere last night on April the 27th. Goes on to say a shower of debris entered the Earth's atmosphere over the western United States. Mike Lewinsky photographed the light show from Crestone, Colorado. It was so bright, it illuminated the foreground for one of my cameras facing in the opposite direction. This was a huge debris field. You don't normally see them quite that big. On March 12th of 2023, a SpaceX Dragon crew capsule named Endurance returned 4 ISS astronauts to Earth. Just before the Endurance plunged into the Earth's atmosphere, it jettisoned its trunk, a disposable, unpressurized container for the ship's solar arrays. And that's what this is right here, as it re-entered the atmosphere. But it lasted for a long time. This video out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, by Adric Menning lasted for well over a minute. So that was a decent size, probably very dense piece of space debris that re-entered the atmosphere last night during the overnight hours. That was at around 3 o'clock in the morning above southern Colorado. And as I started the video out with, yet another train derailment has occurred yesterday in Wisconsin. Sends 2 containers into the Mississippi River. Article over here at CNN.com goes on to say a train derailment in southwestern Wisconsin on Thursday sent 2 derailed containers into the Mississippi River, and at least 4 employees were injured, according to reports. The train derailed around 12:15 p.m. local time near the village of DeSoto. That would be right down here in southwestern Wisconsin, near the Mississippi River, obviously, because a couple of the containers went into the Mississippi River. Goes on to say 2 cars in the Mississippi River contained non-hazardous materials. Some of the derailed containers, which toppled onto the shore above the waterline, contained lithium-ion batteries and paint. And it goes on to say hazardous material crews remained on site as a precaution because some of these cars did contain hazardous materials. They weren't in the river. They were over here in this large pile, and it takes a long time to get these things reorganized and up off the ground and the material removed safely. So yet another train derailment, this time in southwestern Wisconsin. Thanks for the photos and videos, guys. Keep them coming. If you guys have any photos you'd like to share, you can send those to reports at MrMBB333.com. If you guys have any videos you'd like to share that are too large to attach to the email, come over here to the homepage of the website, look for this red tab that says Have a Large Video. Simply click on the red tab, drag and drop your video into the red banner. Please include your first name, date, and location, and I'll take it from there. Thanks for watching. Have a super day, and be safe out there.